But so the biggest thing, one of the biggest things that are going to drive us in this underclass structure will be conservatism. The second thing is that you're going to have an unending influx of immigrants into the country. And that's what Dr. Price is talking about. And nobody, no black politician, no black organization wants to deal with that issue. They will avoid it at all costs, even though in their hearts they know that's one of the biggest problems for black folk. We anticipate in the next 10 to 12 years, approximately 8 to 6 million Hispanics coming into the United States and 41 million Asians. You have been the majority minority for 400 years in this country. You have been the #2 population for 400 years. You're going to get kicked out of being #2. You're going to go down and become #4. Now, common sense, even a third grade education would tell you, if you didn't get anything when you were #2, you all jumped ahead of me, but anyway, you can guess what you're going to get when you become #4. So what I'm saying now is that you're going to have this massive influx of immigrants into the country that are better equipped. They don't have your legacies. They don't have your disadvantages. They're walking across the border. They're going to get a free lunch. They don't have to pay dues. But you got public policies in this country that are equating them to black folk. They're equating them to black, and what we've allowed them to do, starting in 1970, is to wrap themselves in black folks' suffering and pretend somehow they've suffered along with black folk. And therefore, whatever program is created under this misguided label called minority, that they are equal to you and over you. So that's the problem with the influx of immigrants. And what they are doing is coming into the country and doing what we've never been allowed to do and we've never been bright enough to do in some senses, is to build your own communities. You gotta build your communities. You see, every group that when they leave their homeland, the last thing they do is look in the mirror. They look in the mirror and says, I'm going to America. And I'm gonna go to America, I'm gonna find me a community or neighborhood. Or I'm gonna build one with people who look like me. And so that's why you go all over this nation, where they're coming out of Asia. You will find Vietnamese towns all over California, little Cambodias. You'll find a Chinatown in every major city. You'll see the Hispanics come in, they'll build a little Mexico, a little Havana, a little Hialeah. You find little Italys, French towns, German town, Greek town, Polish town, but you cannot find one black town. And we are the only people that keep trying to integrate. We're the only people, rather than looking in the mirror and saying, I see somebody that looks like me, I want to go find and build me a community of people who look like me. We're doing just the opposite. That's your second problem, is inappropriate behavior of black folk. We keep looking in the mirror and says, I want to get away from everybody that looks like me. You can't have any power and wealth doing that. If you don't have a community, you cannot rebuild Los Angeles without a black community. If I cannot come in this city, you can tell me where every black lives, where he stays, where he works. You don't have a community. And all of you that want to go in business, don't waste your time. You cannot start a business and operate without a town or a community. Why can't you do it? Because without a community, you have no market. If you don't have a market, every black gonna go by your store at 200 miles an hour, heading for the suburbs and heading for the malls. And that's why you got this major displacement of capital out of the black neighborhood. And I tell black folk, if you want to go in business today, don't do it. Give me the money. I need it. Because you're going to go bankrupt. 80% of all black folk that go into business under the present system, you will go bankrupt within 2 years. You will lose your money within 2 years because you don't have a market. And see, that's how the other groups function. They have their own markets, their own communities.
Do you know what happened?
Man.
Boy. Love that man so much. I had the pleasure of meeting him in person about 3 years ago. Actually, right before the event outside, walking into the event, into the parking lot. And we sat outside. It was himself, his son, and someone else. And I had the pleasure of just chit-chatting with him there. And then, of course, after the engagement afterwards, signed my book. I mean, I'm so happy that I was introduced to who he was and who he is, I should say, because again, I'm from California area he's talking about, and he's spot on everything. His books spot on.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And we're going to be definitely getting into that tonight on Sincereluvdagod cast. But first of all, welcome everybody tonight.
Happy Sunday.
Appreciate y'all tapping in with us. Everybody that's been rocking with us so far. Y'all are definitely appreciated. Shout out to Jackson Harlem and View of One in the chat. Our community administrators.
Hey,
Definitely appreciate y'all spending time with us and giving us y'all energy and, you know, all the help behind the scenes. Like I always say, y'all are definitely a part of the team. You know what I'm saying? We growing together with this thing. So we definitely appreciate y'all time and y'all energy. You know what I mean? Make sure you share this out.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody hit the like button, hit the share button. Make sure everybody is subscribed to the channel and that you hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever we go live with new content. So how you doing tonight, nyctegur?
I'm doing all right. These little allergies starting to kick my butt all of a sudden, you know, but I'm here. I'm here. Will not let nothing stop me from being here, period.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. So, yeah, man, the topic of tonight is going to be about Biden, you know, trying to give reparations to people that don't even belong on the soil.
Broke the law to get here.
You know, criminals who broke the law to be on the soil have no business here. They're not part of his voting base. They're not even eligible to vote.
At all.
But somehow they're eligible to receive benefits. And so that's going to be the main topic.
We can call it reparations. Exactly. It's a form of reparations, if you ask me. You know, and again, I don't know what more do we need to see or hear to understand his disdain, his contempt for Black America. And not just Black America, you know, because even the Black immigrants, look how he handled the Haitian refugees, you know. Mm-hmm. He has a disdain for Black colored people, mm-hmm. Black skinned people, you know, so we have to get that through our thick skulls.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We're going to get into that a little bit later. If y'all haven't noticed, you know, it is Halloween. Happy Halloween to everybody.
Happy Halloween.
I'm on my Fidel Castro shit right now, just in case you didn't know who I was tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm Fidel Castro over here. You know what I mean? I was just messing around with my son. You know, he excited about today. You know, when they go to school and all that, they get him hype about these holidays. You know what I'm saying? And so my wife about to take him out trick-or-treating and stuff right now. So, you know, since he's excited. I had this hat right here from me and my wife's honeymoon. We went to Cuba on our honeymoon.
Oh, you got a chance to see Cuba. How was that?
Yeah. Cuba was dope. Cuba is dope, man. We was only out there for one day because we went on a cruise. And so we stopped over there for one day. We was in the city of Havana, but beautiful place, beautiful people. And the one thing about Cuba is the Black people there know that they are Black. They understand their Blackness. And when they see you, they let you know that they know that. And a lot of them are very in tune with their history. The ones that can speak English, even the ones that can't speak English, they try their best to explain to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we the same.
Right.
And, like everybody coming up to us like, yo, look at you, look at me. You might be American, but look, we the same.
Right.
All of them. You know what I'm saying? And that's different.
So they sit in the coon class over here.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of the white ones, really. A lot of the wannabe Anglo ones are the ones that come over here in large numbers. And some of the darker ones that get over here, they be on that coon trains too. But when you go over there, they let it be known. They let it be known, like, yo, I see you. You my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And the embrace is just, it was just beautiful, man. And the work ethic of the people, man, because, you know, over there, it's like a socialist economy. You know what I'm saying? The people are poor, but everybody is on the same level. Right. So in Havana, there's not really a lot of crime like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody, everybody just working together. You know what I'm saying, to make sure that everybody can eat on a daily basis. You know, you're not allowed to own your property. You're not allowed to run businesses and stuff like that. Everything is owned by the government. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And so they keep people just on one level. You know what I'm saying? There is no different classes.
No classes.
You know what I'm saying? But the money, like when you exchange your money, it was like dollar for dollar. Actually, their money might have been their dollar might have been a little stronger than ours when we exchanged it. But it was because of the fees. It's really about dollar for dollar. You know what I'm saying? So they got a pretty strong economy over there for that little independent island out there. But I just appreciated the people out there, man, and the love that they were showing and the camaraderie that they were showing. Because when you go to a lot of these Spanish-speaking countries, it's not like that. It's not like that. You know what I'm saying? You see the blackest motherfucker in Dominican Republic telling you he's Spanish.
Right.
He ain't black.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm looking at you and I'm like, well, you look black. You look African.
You know what I'm saying? They forget about that part of their history. They just claim Spain. If you were once said, feel better, nyctegur.
Thank you. It's just a little allergies, but I'm gonna get through it.
My wife is a little bit under the weather too, man. She ain't feeling too hot. She mad she got to go take 7 out to go trick or treating right now.
Right. Well, you know, and I'm in Cali, so it was raining last Monday. Then it got hot. Then it kind of went down to the 60s, and it got hot again. So your body just, you know, can't really adjust sometimes. But it's all allergies.
Just allergies.
Just allergies. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah. Right. I'm a champ.
So, some of these topics for the week, man. I be trying not to talk too much about the jab, but it's like, how could you avoid it?
How can you avoid it?
How can you avoid it?
How can you avoid it?
So our brother Ice Cube is back in the news. You know what I'm saying? They said he turned down a $9 million movie role with Jack Black because he don't want to get the jab.
Right.
Shout out to Ice Cube, man. Ice Cube is a rider, man. Ice Cube is a real one. Been a real one for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Did you see the story?
I did. I saw the story about it. I posted about it as well. I was actually like, you know, it's, you know, again, all money ain't good money, you know, and there, it can be a testing protocol. I'm sure he probably would have been fine with that, you know, but to mandate a person, you know, to do something to their body, you know, just to be on this set, you know, he's bringing something to the table too. Let's be clear, you know, so, you know, kudos to him. And not to say that, you know, $9 million is a little bit to walk away from, right? You know, but
$9 million.
Right. $9 million is $9 million, you know, so, you know, let's be clear about that. But again, the fact that he's in a position where he could, right? And or maybe he's not in a position where he could. Again, all money's not good money. I'm not for sale. And, you know, this goes against my religion or my belief, or, you know, I'm not ready yet. You know, maybe more information needs to come out. So I'll go ahead and pass.
And remember, when you're talking about Ice Cube, man, Ice Cube was the first one to walk away from NWA because he didn't want to sign that contract.
Boom.
You know what I'm saying?
Boom. Right.
And I think when NWA came out, they was in like high school or some shit. They was kids.
Yeah, they were kids.
You know what I'm saying? So Ice Cube been with the shits. He been a man of integrity.
Right.
And, you know,
having a business too.
Yeah. About his business, having knowledge of self, and not afraid to stand up to the system, not afraid to turn down certain opportunities when shit don't smell right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He always been on that since day one.
So no one should be surprised, but you know, Aunt Jamel Hill, Law member, she posted something on Friday. Cannot wait to see all the people who criticize Ice Cube's music, particularly because its views on American policy suddenly become the loudest advocates. This will be hilarious. But, you know, she's talking about, you know, him walking away from that $9 million. Girl, he don't care about big biscuits.
Exactly.
You care about biscuits. You know, so
Exactly.
worry about yourself. And again, my thing is sometimes I just feel like, why can't you guys shut up? You know, we expect it from the dominant society, you know, which I went under her comments, and most of the people that were making the stupidest comments were people of the dominant society. But again, they have puppets like her that look like us, that look like him, that get on their social media platforms to be the most critical and loudest. And that part makes me sick.
Indeed,
Just
man.
shut up.
Indeed. And she's really, her and her ilk, you know,
Right.
they really like this one trick pony, because they always do the same thing where they try to equate us with the Trump supporters or the white supremacists on the right. You know what I'm saying? They always use that as the straw man argument or the boogeyman argument. You know what I'm saying? To say, yeah, you know, she's saying, I can't wait for all of what was her words? You got it in front of you?
Yeah, she said that. Let me bring it back up real quick, so I can, you know, be. She said, I cannot wait to see all the people who criticize Ice Cube's music, particularly because his views on American policy suddenly become his loudest advocates. This will be hilarious.
Yeah. So again, right there, she's talking about the Tucker Carlsons and Megan McCain's and people like that. You know what I'm saying? But she tried to act like we don't exist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the people in Black society on the grassroots is not feeling the same way that Ice Cube feels, and it's not championing what he's doing and supporting his decision. You know what I'm saying?
Remember back in the days, in the 80s, when they decided to add that little label, explicit content, you know, when they were fighting, you know, NWA, Two Live Crew, all that. Back in those days, from what I remember, it was a bunch of Black people and politicians that were screaming the loudest about their music. It wasn't the Tucker Carlson and all that. You know, let's go. We can go back. We can pull that image, that stuff up. It was Black people doing it.
Good point. And I am going to pull something up right now on the fly. I don't know if it's going to be in the right spot. I didn't have this one ready, y'all. I wasn't planning on playing this, but yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, let's go back. They always have their little, you know, Black minions to do all the dirty work.
Wait, is it this one? I think this is it. I don't know which spot this is on, but I'm pretty sure he giving her that work right here. Hold on.
Right.
Hold on. Ice Cube, man. Ice Cube been about the shits. All right, hold on. Boom. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let me do it like this. All right.
How old are you?
Director.
Director?
Yeah, videos.
You are? You do some of that?
Yes.
This is a Black female reporter that's interviewing him.
How old are you now?
Oh, well, I'm still learning, so we're all babies.
You have a 7-year-old?
Well, no, that's my stepson.
Oh, okay.
But he's mine. I've been taking care of him.
Excuse me. My son bought some of your stuff.
It's very positive.
It had some bad words in it.
Oh, that doesn't mean it's not positive. If you get your hand burnt on the stove, it's a bad experience, but it's very positive because you'll never do it again. And that's what my music, it shows a mirror. You know, like he just showed me my mirror of myself. My hair was messed up. If I show you that mirror enough time, pretty soon I get my hair together. So that's exactly what I'm doing, showing you that mirror till you get your hair together.
Okay, we're rolling. Okay, Cube, you know there's a lot of controversy. You got the Newsweek magazine with some of the legal difficulty that some of the rap stars have recently gotten into. I've been trying to do this story for 3 months on ABC, and it wasn't until it starts hitting that they're interested in doing it. What do you think about the controversy that is now surrounding the music and what appears to be a new backlash against it?
Well, you know, we've always had opposition because we are distributing information. And the big distributors of information don't like when you distribute uncut information, especially to their children.
What do you mean by uncut?
uncut, meaning without going through the censor, that this interview might go through, without being on the editing board, without white people making the decisions on what's being heard, and it's nothing but the truth. And I have to remind America that all of these incidents with the rappers are just allegations. No one's been convicted yet. So, they was just ready with their guns, as soon as an opening came in, all the critics just ran in that opening, and no convictions are made on any of these people, just allegations.
So that's our brother Ice Cube, man. You know what I'm saying? That's our brother Ice Cube, man. He been on that. He been on that. He said, the big distributors of information, they don't want you distributing that uncut raw truth, especially to their kids. Why? Because they try to indoctrinate their kids so that they can carry on the tradition of maintaining the system of white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? And so their children are susceptible to the truth, just like our children are. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been lied to the same way as us. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way that the system stays in place. It's built on a lie. So you have to keep that. You have to keep that shit going throughout the generations in order to maintain the system. So they see that their kids love our music. You know what I'm saying? So they have to control what it is that we're saying, and they have to suppress the ones who are truth tellers and truth speakers, and really shine the light on, the watered down shit and the motherfuckers that it really ain't saying nothing. You know what I mean? That's why Lil Nas X is the #1 rapper right now. Manufactured, of course.
Or the people that's getting the most push within the record companies, because they're not saying anything that's constructive to our community, and that's going for the males as well as the females. We don't have rappers like you saying anything. And even when Cube and NWA were out, they were talking about crooked cops. You know what I'm saying? They were talking about the system even then. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't necessarily their music about, killing one another. Mm-hmm. It was shining the light on them, right? So they did not like it. Now, when we transitioned to talking about killing each other, we got away from the consciousness of rap and start talking about all the negative stuff within our community and what we're going to do negatively to each other. Oh, you're going to get that push. We like you. This is what we want to hear, And again, their children listen to it, but they're not listening to it the way that our kids are listening to it. Because our kids are listening to it in that negative way, where they're looking at their fellow brothers and sisters as an enemy versus an ally.
Yeah, because it's built on the circumstances of your environment as well. You know what I'm saying? You constantly inundated with these negative images of yourself. You go to school, you're getting miseducated. You know what I'm saying? You walk outside your door, you see the crime, you see the drugs, you see the gangs, all of this stuff. And then it's perpetuated within the music. So in the mind of a black child, I'm supposed to emulate this. It's not just entertainment, it's instructions.
It's instructions.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And then their minds are not mature enough to understand that these guys are telling a story, right? We're not saying go and do it. We're still telling the story, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't think that is understood in the music, and it's almost not like you're there storytelling. It's almost, or it may seem instructional today, not then, I'm saying today. It seems instructional.
Indeed. And bear with me, family, because I somehow closed out my queue of stuff that I had queued up over here. So I'm trying to get that back together as we are speaking.
Well, while he's doing that, again, you guys make sure you make sure you're sharing this on all your social media platforms. It helps us out to get noticed. Help the show get noticed on a weekly basis. So again, hit your notification bells, like and share. And thank you again for tuning in tonight on the Sincere Love the God cast. And this is just our current events, right? This is our current event Sunday. And again, we're gonna hit all the topics. If you guys have any questions, again, please hit them in the comments. We'll try to answer some. If you guys, make some comments that we can read on air, also do that as well.
Jamel. Viewer 1 said, how old was he right there? I think that interview was from 93. So I don't know how old Cube is right now, but
I think he said 50. I think he's just 50.
Yeah.
No more than 51.
He was young, man. He was young,
Yeah.
early 20s.
Yeah.
Early 20s. Because that was after he went solo. And so, like I said, when NWA first came out, them dudes was in like 11th grade, 12th grade. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he early 20s right there. He early 20s dropping that sign. And around that time is really when he was clicked up with Public Enemy, Chuck D, real heavy. You know, they was getting tutelage up under the minister. Shout out to Mr. Farrakhan.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he was bringing that fire, boy.
He was bringing that fire even before he got clicked with them again. He understood, you know, I know my worth, right? And so, you know, that dude that they aligned with and that was cheating them out their money and all that stuff, he understood his worth.
Jerry Heller.
Yeah. He knew what he was bringing to the table. You're not going to cheat me. I don't care that I'm from the hood. I was from the hood before you, you know, and again, I know my worth. I don't agree with this contract and I want my money.
Exactly.
You're not about to make all the money, period.
Exactly, man. Exactly. And so, yeah, man, once again, much respect to Ice Cube, man. That's our brother, man. You know what I mean? He gets the benefit of the doubt in my book, regardless. You know what I'm saying?
And ain't done nothing crazy, you know, that makes us question, you know, who he is. He's always been who he is. He's always just been a solid dude, period. I even like his stance with his children. I'm not going to make my kids go to college if that's not what they want to do. I'm going to do what these white folks do. They're going to sit next to me and listen in on these business meetings and learn these contracts, and I'm going to hire them and I'm going to teach them, and then they're going to take over what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to do. I don't have to push them into college if that's not what they want to do. If they want to do it, great. Yes, go ahead. You know, whatever my kids want to do. But here it is. I'm in a position where I can network and bring them in. That's what I'm going to do. That's what you set your kids up. And you back them for whatever it is that they want to do, whether that's school or not.
And you just said a lot right there. You know, I was about to segue into one thing, but I want to touch on that point right there a little bit because, you know, again, we're talking about generational wealth. Yeah. And now a lot of us are starting to get into that type of talk. You know what I mean? Right. That's a hot button word that's circulating in the vernacular now. You know what I mean? Everybody's talking about generational wealth and how do we build generational wealth and securing something for the future of our children and all of that. And now that Black people are waking up to that and really starting to try to figure that out, I'm starting to see this push of they had Shaq out there. Shaq says,
"Oh, you saw that, yeah."
Yeah, Shaq talking about, you know, he tell his kids, "We not rich, I'm rich," and he don't plan on giving them none of his money. They're gonna have to work for it. I'm pretty sure if we get into the nuances of it, you know, he's not gonna leave them high and dry. But the way that it's being presented and the way that they circulating what he said. It's like they're trying to talk down on that. Like it's more responsible to make your kids work hard and teach them the value of hard work. Of course, that should go without saying. Right? We don't want our kids to be bums no matter what position we in. Right. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, don't talk down on passing something down to the next generation. Like that's not important.
Exactly. And you guys do it too. And I'm sure his part of what he's saying is, you know, I'm not going to just give it to you in a sense that I'm going to give it to you blindly, right? I'm going to teach you how to run this, right? And I think I took it, you know, because I know what the dominant society does when they, you know, put news out there in the way that they'll headline it. He's saying, I'm not going to give my children anything blindly. And I think the message is, you know, good. I'm rich, you're not rich. Now you're going to be rich when you learn everything, right? When I'm comfortable enough to know that you can handle all this that I've, you know, laid out for you. I watched back in the days his ex-wife Shawnee, you know, when she was doing the Basketball Wives stuff, when I used to be into that. But a lot of part with her, she would like to show the back side of her business pursuits and her family life. Now, all the ratchet stuff, she left that on everybody else. But all the business stuff, you know, she would take her children out when she was buying properties, whether it's in the United States or out of the country. She took her children with her. When she was in the weed industry, she took her children with her so they can learn the business. So I understood right away what he was talking about because I understood what his ex-wife is doing as well. They're teaching their children the business, period.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. Respect to Shawnee for that as well, man.
Yeah.
And my antennas went up because right after I seen that with Shaq, because I've been saw it. It was when Earn Your Leisure had their wealth convention down here in Atlanta was when he said it. So that was like during the summer. But it recently hit headlines in the news and started circulating in the news. And like you said, they put that little spin on it to make it seem like it was irresponsible to pass something down, right? But then right after that, I saw Anderson Cooper say something similar or the same thing, really. He came out and said that he doesn't believe in passing his wealth down to the next generation. And I'm like, wait, isn't Anderson Cooper gay?
First of all, your mother was George Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Vanderbilt, I think his grandmother. Yeah. You come from wealth.
So you don't even know what struggle is. Shut up. You in position because of your mama.
You ain't getting nothing out the mud.
No.
So I'm like he gay, but I looked it up. He does have a child. I guess they had a surrogate or whatever. He did have a child. I don't even know how that works. How does that surrogate thing work? Is that
they hire someone to inject his sperm into her, and she carries it, births it, and give it to him.
So it's his DNA.
It's his DNA. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm like, is this something that they're going to be trying to push now that they see we starting to talk about generational wealth? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And think about this, because wasn't this weekend the Black National Convention that Boyce put on, right? Mm-hmm. So social media has been blowing up with images from that, and video, of the speakers, etc. It is no coincidence that he has this going on, and they're talking about Black wealth and how to build wealth within the community, how to network within the community, supporting Black businesses, etc. And then all of a sudden we have this headline. I just feel like, we know that they take their cues. We know that they're watching, Black media. And so their games now is just to, how can we combat this? What can we put out here to make what they're saying a lie or negative?
Yeah. Exactly.
And why not one of the top players in the NBA?
Exactly. Hey, how do we look, family? Because my sister's looking a little blurry on my end. Am I blurry to you?
Nope. And it looks clear on my end.
It looks clear.
Mm-hmm.
Everything
blur.
Looks good over here. I just see your screen just look a little blurry now.
Turn my camera down a little bit. My light. Did that help?
Let us know how we looking and sounding, family. Make sure y'all getting the information and everything is clear like how it's supposed to be. So give us some feedback in the chat. Let us know how we doing here. But
the dominant society, just like anything, they do not want us to climb a ladder. Not one step, two step, just no step. As long as we keep you guys dependent on us, meaning the system, for jobs, for social help, welfare system, etc. That's what they want us to be, so they can constantly tell you you're not trying hard enough. Pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. All these things that they tell you to do, and then when you go do it, here you guys come with your Negro minions, and your media, to talk down on us trying to do the very thing that you basically tell us that we're not doing, or when we do it, you sabotage it. Like, it's almost like you can't win for losing, but we're not losers anymore. We're gonna get that loser thing out our mind. We're gonna not let that fear, mongering that they do in our community stop us from building. Because at the end of the day, nobody is going to come and help us. We can see it clear with this administration. Again, they just jump. Immigrants basically are, ahead of the line again.
Indeed. And we definitely going to get into that. So y'all make sure y'all stick around for us to get into our main topic.
Right.
So, and thank y'all for the feedback in the chat. They said you are a little blurry. You look better now, though. So I guess it was just chopping up a little bit. But you look better now. Everything looks clear again. So we good. Just double check your connection and make sure you're on. But we were just talking about Cube, and Cube always being a real one for a long time and never giving us any reason to question, where he's at.
Right.
But they just dropped on Netflix. They just dropped the new Colin Kaepernick. What is it? A documentary, a miniseries? What is it? I haven't had a chance to see it yet.
I haven't looked at it, but I saw clips, and it looks like it's like a miniseries, maybe, because it's someone portraying him, so it's a movie type deal.
Okay. And I'm hearing good things. You know, so far I'm hearing good things from the people that have been talking about it online. I'm pretty sure it's good. Ava DuVernay is a good filmmaker, in my opinion. She does do a great job with her films. Now, we don't always agree with some of her politics,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, some of the people that she liked to be real buddy with. And, you know, I remember she was out here, you know, real comfortable with Weinstein, and then she got quiet when the controversy broke. And, you know, so it's a lot of funny style stuff, but I give credit where credit is due.
Right.
Her as a filmmaker and as an artist, she get it in. So I'm gonna definitely watch it, and I'm gonna definitely check it out. But just overall, how you feel about how quiet Kaepernick has been since everything? Like, we haven't heard from our brother at all. You know what I'm saying?
I will say that I have felt a certain kind of way about it. I have, you know, and obviously you can't tell people how they should handle things, but, you know, you do have people that stood with you, still, you know, stand with you, support you. And then, you know, after the whole settlement thing, it's just like, and I obviously, you know, I'm sure that there's some, you know, gag orders. You don't have to talk about, you know, what that was, right? But just as loud as you were on social media before and talking and kind of communicating with everybody prior to this, you know, movie thing coming out, I feel like, you know, what happened in between? Like, I don't know.
Like the fact that you just completely disappear and just go radio silent is very, very weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and not to say that he can't be doing some good things behind the scenes, but my thing is, like, when it comes to Black people, why everything always got to be behind closed doors?
Yeah.
Whenever it comes to doing something for Black people, why always got to be low key? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There got to be some shit like that. Like,
but when you want our support, it's not low key though. It's not low key when, just like, you know, the politicians when it's time to vote, right? It's not low key when you need us and you're going door to door and telling, you know, how bad the Black vote is needed and we need Black America to do this and that. Like, it's loud, proud, everything. And then when you get what you want, silent.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so we're not going to be anybody's dirty little secret. You know what I'm saying?
No.
We put in Black empowerment as the priority, front line, number one topic of discussion. If it ain't about that, it ain't about nothing.
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you're doing some things behind the scenes, whatever, you know, it is what it is. I ain't here to bash the brother. I'm just a little confused. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I am too. And I think that's the sentiment or the thoughts of a lot of people. You know, we're just confused. Where you at? You know what I'm saying? That's it.
And again, we're not looking for leaders. You know what I'm saying? It's not about looking for a savior or, you know, making the issue about Kaepernick, because I was on that from the beginning. From the beginning, when the whole thing went about, I was always on some, it's not about Kaepernick. It's about justice. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's about what he's standing up for. We agree with the issue that he's standing up for, because this was, I think, what was it? I think it was way after Mike Brown. I forgot who it was.
It was definitely after Mike Brown.
Eric Garner, somebody like that.
Garner. Yeah.
Somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? As far as he was concerned, enough was enough, and he felt like he needed to make some type of stand and use his platform, you know what I'm saying, to bring some attention to what was going on, because nothing was being done. Nobody was being prosecuted. Nobody was being charged. You know, they was telling us in the media, we crazy and ain't nothing going on, and look over here. You know what I'm saying? And so I respected him for using his platform in that way. And we agreed again with the issues, but it wasn't about Kaepernick and him having a job with the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's messed up what the NFL did to him, but that's not the issue. You know what I'm saying? It's not about one man. It's about the community at large.
The message.
What's up, man?
It was about the message, what he was kneeling for, you know, / standing up, you know, to bring awareness to, you know, this system that, you know, harms Black people, specifically Black men. You know, it's blatant, it's on camera, there's no accountability of any kind, you know, when Black men and women are being murdered on camera. And they find ways to justify it. So, you know, for me, the message wasn't lost. I just got kind of lost after the whole, okay, he's not playing anymore, you know, he settled, and then it was just like dead silent, and then it's like, I'm back, support my movie.
Yeah,
that's the part where
exactly. You know, the Nike shoes sold out in a couple of minutes and all of that.
It was
cool. Get your money.
Media, you were on social media heavy promoting it. You know who your base is. Remember, white people were burning your jersey, Nike, because they didn't want Nike to give you the deal. All that. It was Black people supporting. So you already know who your base is too.
Indeed. And then, you know, we be having on Hot 97 in the barbershop sometimes, and Nessa be on the radio. They be having Nessa talking all type of fuckery on the radio. But I'm just gonna say it plain like that. His girlfriend,
right?
Yeah, go ahead, say hi. You see they saying hi to you in the chat.
Hi.
Say peace.
Hi, handsome.
Say happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you.
Let them know who you are. Let them know who you are for Halloween today.
I'm Dracula.
You got a lot of candy? All right, I'm gonna come check you out when I get finished with the broadcast, okay? All right, peace, man. Close the door when you go out. Yeah, but Nessa, man, like, I'll be like, man, they just giving her any old script to say. Like, when it comes to the jab and all that, like, she pushing that thing heavy. You know
so
what I'm saying?
Again, that's his girl.
And even what we was talking about earlier, as far as with the generational wealth thing, just the other day I heard her say that. She brought up the Anderson Cooper thing, and she was agreeing with Anderson Cooper. Yeah, make them work. Don't give them nothing. Why would you want to give it to something? You're gonna make them lazy, you know? Like, I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. And again, they're just focusing on the give part. Me giving my kids, you know, wealth, I'm also giving them the knowledge to keep and maintain it. Right, and continue to build it. So why is it just so one-dimensional in their minds? Like, think about that. You think I'm just like, all right, kid, son, daughter, you don't have to do anything. You know, I got you, but I'm not going to give you everything else necessary to maintain that. That's just dumb.
It's just dumb.
That's just dumb. Come on now. But again, that just goes to show how dumb they think we are, because that message is not given to any other community.
Exactly.
Period. You know, we can go to the Kardashians. You know, Kim, like she said it on one of her shows. I used to watch it faithfully. She was just like, you know, her and her sisters was arguing, and she was like, listen, I gave you a career. Y'all wasn't doing nothing. It's based off of, you know, this act that I did and got caught up in. But she gave her whole family a career. Right?
Indeed.
And I'm sure she wasn't talking about, oh, you got to work for this, work for that. I'm putting you on, period.
Indeed. Yeah, viewer one, we are going to talk about if you're talking about what I think you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
Did you hear about Alpo?
I don't know him. I saw that. I don't know who the heck he is at all.
Have you ever seen Paid in Full?
Yes.
Alpo was who played Alpo in the movie? Was Cameron's character.
Okay.
Cameron's character. So that was a real New York crew in the 80s, you know, kingpin drug dealers from the 80s, Harlem era, 80s era from Harlem. And Alpo was one of the major players, AZ, Rich Porter, who was played by Mekhi Phifer.
Okay.
And AZ was played by what's my man name, man? I forgot the actor's name, the tall guy. He plays in everything. But yeah, man, Rich Porter allegedly was gunned down this morning in Harlem. And so now you know he been having that rat tag on his name all of these years.
I've been seeing a lot of that stuff. So I speculated just based off of the post, like, okay, so about just finally happened, finally caught up to him.
Yeah.
You know, I was seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the way that it seems. Let me pull the story up so I could give some of the details. This is from the Source magazine. It says notorious drug dealer Alberto Alpo Martinez murdered in Harlem. Notorious former drug dealer, 55-year-old Albert Alpo Martinez was shot and killed in Harlem. The shooting took place early Sunday morning in a drive-by fashion. Police noted that Alpo was hit multiple times in the chest with shots coming from the vehicle passing by on West 147th Street near Frederick Douglass Boulevard around 3:20 a.m.
That was a professional.
Alpo was often reviled as a snitch who allegedly betrayed the street code to save himself, tarnishing his legacy in the streets. The EMS attempted to rush him to Harlem Hospital, but Alpo did not make it. More news will come out as it develops. So that's what we got on that story so far, family. Yeah, my man hit me up today. I didn't even see it on the internet. My man hit me up. He from Harlem. He lived down here with me. It's my dude. Shout out to my dude Jay. And so his family kind of grew up with the AZ family, and they recently was at somebody else's funeral. Somebody else from that era had recently passed, and they was at the funeral for. And he was telling me about it this morning. So wow. I was like, wow. So shit finally caught up.
Right.
Shit finally caught up. You know.
Karma is the most patient bitch ever.
For real, man. For real. And the fact that you were still in Harlem, just walking around in Harlem, I mean, I know Harlem ain't what it used to be no more, but you know what I mean? Like, you still got some hitters out there, man.
Somebody convinced him that he was protected.
Mm-hmm. And you got young dudes that want to make a name for themselves, and
right.
you're a notorious legendary person, you know what I'm saying, out there in them streets. That's a come up for somebody, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's a come up for somebody.
They just made a name for themselves. Yeah. They just made a name for themselves, and a few shots to the chest like a professional. Oh yeah, you hired.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Or it sounds like it could have possibly been a setup, because why was he out at 3-something in the morning? Why you want sleep? I'm just
It's New York though. It's New York. The city. Okay. That's the city that never sleeps.
Okay.
That's the city that never sleeps. So that ain't really too abnormal. I mean, it is COVID. Okay. I haven't really been out there since COVID, but from what I've been hearing, it's not really a bustling as it normally is in New York with all this COVID shit going on.
Right.
So who knows? So, again, we'll get more details as that story develops, but that's what we know so far, family. Alpo.
I didn't know that he was the person it was based off of the movie was based off him. Had no idea. Like, I didn't see anything collating that. Honestly, I thought
they changed the names. They changed the names in the movie. They had different names in the movie, but yeah, Dame Dash made that movie. Dame Dash is from there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure if y'all follow Dame Dash, I'm pretty sure he's probably talking about it on his platforms. He's probably, posting and talking about what's going on. So that's that on that.
Well, you see, Jay-Z did give him his props on his induction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Basically said we, don't always see eye to eye, but I can't not, give him his credit. So kudos to Jay on that. I don't always agree with him either on some stuff, but respect where respect is due. And when someone does something good, whether I disagree with other things, when they do something good, I'm always gonna, be just as loud with the good stuff as well. So, shout out to Jay for that.
I agree. I feel the same way. And yeah, definitely, shout out to Ho for getting inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It didn't really, for me, it was like, I don't really care about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame like that. Like, Jay, you was already that guy to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're already one of my favorites. You're already one of the greatest of all times in my book. So it's like, okay, getting some validation from, I was about to say the dominant society, but Jackson Harlem, he got me wanting to change that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? we're gonna start referring to them as the global white minority,
Right.
the dying white minority.
Minority.
You know what I'm saying? I feel better saying that than the dominant society. I feel better saying the dying white minority. You know, he's getting his flowers from them, and that's cool if it makes him feel good. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't even excited about it, to tell you the truth. I'm like, okay, they
like whatever.
Because really, shout out to them. You know, for finally catching up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Should have been had it.
Indeed. Yeah. It's he's getting his props from Kevin Jackson Harlem. You know, Kevin is late to the party.
Right. Yes, they are dying off slow.
Yes, the dying race. You know what I mean?
In their own words, by the way, they even know they're dying off.
Yeah, we speaking facts.
Yeah,
we speaking facts. We not being disparaging. We just speaking facts. They are the global white minority, and they are dying off.
Even Joe Biden worried about it. Remember when he was talking to his little Negro minions? You know, white people will be the minority by 2040. You know, so he worried about it.
Mm-hmm. I think I got that pulled up too.
Yeah.
When we get into that discussion.
Yeah, they're worried about it.
So yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, shout out to Hov, man. Shout out to Hov, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? He also dropped the soundtrack for the new movie that's coming out, the Black Cowboy movie.
Oh yeah.
The Harder They Fall. That looks like it's gonna be a good movie. Idris Elba, my girl, that I love, and I can't think of her name, from 227 and
oh my God, why? With the hazel eyes.
Do she got hazel eyes? I know she beautiful and melanated.
Yeah.
She one of my favorites.
Regina King,
yeah. Regina King, Idris Elba, Lakeith. What's his name? Lakeith Stanfield? Not Stanfield. Lakeith.
Oh, from Get Out.
From Get Out.
Yeah, from Get Out.
So that looked like it's gonna be a dope movie. The filmmaker, he's from The Bullet. Well, he's also known as The Bullets. You know what I'm saying? I know him as a music artist and a filmmaker out there in London. He's dope. Okay. So I was looking forward to this flick. And the soundtrack, I was listening to it this morning at the gym. It got some joints on there.
Okay.
Executive produced by Jay-Z. Jay-Z is on there a couple of times. Lauryn Hill is on there. She went in. I don't know the other person that's on the song with her, but she's on there. CeeLo Green. Okay. Got a dope song on there. Seal. And I don't even listen to Seal's music like that, but I like the song he got on there. That's really dope. Jadakiss is on the song with Jay-Z and Conway the Machine. It's a pretty dope soundtrack, man. It's a pretty dope soundtrack.
Check that out. But not before we check yours out. Not a soundtrack, but that single that you was spitting before the show.
You already know. Make sure y'all go check that out, man. The Spear. Very relevant lyrics to everything that's going on that we experiencing right now. Oh, you heard it, Jackson? Love the songs with Lauryn Hill and Jadakiss. Yeah, dope. The whole thing is produced by the same dude that made the movie too. I think his name is James Seymour is his name, but he also goes by the Bullets. Dope artist. Okay. Couple more things before we get into our main topic. Facebook announced some changes with their platform, right? Facebook now changed their name to Meta, or the Metaverse, I think is the official name. And on the stock market, they're going to be known as Meta. And so a lot of people are confused about what this means and all of this stuff. And even me, I'm confused as well. Right. You know what I mean? But with a little bit of understanding that I have, I do want to try to break it down for the family because this is important. These are the things that we need to be up on early and that we need to have our children up on early because this is the way that the world is going and we don't need to get left behind. We're already at the bottom.
Right.
We're already at the bottom. So technology, science, technology, mathematics, those are the things that we should be introducing to our children very early. And cryptocurrency and all of this stuff, the way the world is changing, we cannot, just because we don't understand it, we cannot just let it pass us by and not try to get an understanding.
Right.
So my suggestion to people was that, you know, rather than just scrolling aimlessly on these social media platforms and just, you know, absorbing information and not doing anything with it, make sure that you're following people that's giving valuable information.
On it. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're following people who do understand these things better than you, who are talking about it in a substantive way, giving you the information. You know what I'm saying? And so that you can learn a little bit. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. I'm learning from people who know a little bit more than me. You know what I'm saying? I'm tapped in with their pages. And I'm like, okay, what I'm engaging inside the comment section and asking questions like, well, what does this mean? What does that mean? And so basically, the metaverse is going to be a new virtual reality world. You know what I'm saying? So it's the next level of the internet. The first level of the internet was, you know, back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Only thing you could do was just get on the internet and see stuff. Right. You know, you could look at porn, you know, you could read what's going on in the news. You know what I mean? You could just see stuff on your computer, but you couldn't really share it with nobody. You couldn't interact with other people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So the second wave was social media, you know, starting with MySpace and then Facebook and Instagram. And here we are now. What's going on, Mama Love? I see you in the building.
Hey, Mama.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's the second phase of the internet where we're able to interact with each other. We're able to share information and, you know what I'm saying? All of this stuff that we're experiencing today. And so now this new wave of the internet is going to be even more interactive, where we're actually going to be able to create our own communities, own digital space. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine there's a popular site, just say, you know what I'm saying? Like just imagine on Facebook, you could own a billboard on Facebook. You know, imagine Facebook is like a highway. You know what I'm saying? And when you're going down the highway, you see different billboards with different advertisements on there. You could actually own different pieces of the highway where you have your billboards, your space on there, where you could advertise whatever it is, your business, your services, or you could charge other people to advertise their business, their services. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You could have a digital club. You know what I'm saying? Where you throw parties, you throw concerts. Right. People have to buy tickets to get into the club, or people have to pay you with, you know, cryptocurrency or whatever to get in. And people could literally join just by putting on their glasses, putting on their goggles, clicking on the link. And now all of y'all in the room together. You know what I'm saying? Imagine being able to hang out with your friends and your family members who you haven't seen in a long time, doing some of the things that y'all used to do when y'all grew up. You could recreate your old block where you used to hang out at and play dominoes and shit. You could recreate that in an online space and invite your friends and family over. They'll just play some dominoes this weekend. And you're literally there. Like your avatar is there. Once you put on the glasses, you're there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all could dap each other up. And you know what I'm saying? It's a whole nother experience. So that's my little basic understanding of this whole metaverse thing. And I just wanted to share that with the family because I think it's important, you know, that we up on it. And
be in the know. Now, it's important to be in the know.
Jackson brings up a good point. How much more data will we have to give up with the meta though? That's right. And that's something that we still don't understand, even with the level of internet that we're already using.
Oh, right.
How they collect our data, resell our data, and share our data with all these different companies. And they make money off of the time that we spend on these platforms. You know what I'm saying? And so that's another reason why I think it's important for us to learn it and not just be on here just scrolling aimlessly, because we can make money off of our data too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We could, like, you know what I'm saying? We could create our own services and products and be able to advertise to the right people who are in tune with what we do and what we bring to the market. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Jackson is absolutely right. It's going to be a whole nother level of data collection that's taking place. So it's not all good.
No.
You know, there's definitely some benefits that we can get out of it if we're on the ball early, but it's not all good.
No.
You know
what I'm saying? What is? What's ever all good? You know? That's old saying, take the good with the bad, take the bad with the good, you know, and we grab what we need and dispose what we don't, and of course protect yourself as much as you can, and that's just it. But you got to get in the know.
Indeed, indeed. Click the like button, y'all. Click the share button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Appreciate everybody engaging with us in the chat. If you're watching this on the replay, leave us some comments. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you think about the show. Let us know what you think we could do better. Give us some ideas about topics that you would like to hear us talk about. We don't know how we can make it better unless y'all tell us. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what we're doing wrong unless y'all give us some positive feedback, some constructive feedback, and let us know how we could bring better content to you all. So,
last night my son was telling me something about a streaming service called Twitch. Is it Twitch or something like that? Yeah.
My son uses it on. That's
what he was told me, and I said, "Well, we're on YouTube, blah blah blah." He was like, "Yeah, but you can still do it. That's what I was doing when I had my YouTube channel when I was, gaming and stuff. I used Twitch and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna ask him about that because I don't know. I never heard of it." He told me about it last night.
Twitch is definitely a thing. I don't know that much about it either. I know my son uses it for gaming. I've seen Dr. Boyce use it because Dr. Boyce be playing games with his son.
Yeah.
And so he'll be on the game, Grand Theft Auto or whatever, playing Grand Theft Auto, but he talking about financial literacy. He talking about current events, at the same time. So, he's still in his element, but he just having fun playing the game with his son. So, Oh, I don't know what viewer one. I guess that's for you. You said the lips are cute. Is that a makeup compliment? I don't know. Are you talking about my lip? My lips cute?
Check the eyes though. Get into that green, honey. Get into it. I'm gonna probably start bringing y'all some makeup content. I get a lot. Y'all have no idea. I get so many DMs. Either ask me if I do other people makeup or telling me that I need to start posting more, doing reels on IG, etc. So I hear you.
Facts. She coming. Coming.
The kids definitely know a lot about technology. I mean, for them it's fun though, but we can still utilize them to teach us some things, and we can also teach them, some things. We're gonna have to teach each other. We can use them for what they know, and we can also teach them how to make money. Because at the end of the day, they're getting older. They need to learn how to earn a buck.
We can't just be consumers. We have to be producers. We have to be creators. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an exchange intergenerationally. You know what I mean? I think for us, our generation of parents, no shot at our parents and our grandparents, but I think we maintaining that bridge from one generation to the next this time around. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been having these disconnects with each generation, not respecting the elders, and the elders not respecting the younger ones, and I think I'm starting to see more of a bridge taking place from our generation to the generation that's coming up behind us.
Right. We were just taught, go to school, graduate, get a good job. Go to school, graduate, get a good job. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Go to school, get a job. Job. Not understanding you're disposable. With any of these companies, you are disposable, at any given moment. I was with a company for over 10 years, 4 years ago, and they closed down.
So everybody giving you your props on your makeup. So yeah.
Thank you. See, I get a message. Let me get into it one more time for y'all. Get into it.
Hold on. Let me spotlight you. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, my little glass, my book. Yeah. See. Get into it.
There we go. But yeah, man. We're past the first hour in the show, so I think it's about time to get into the bullseye topic, which is what was the headline? What was the headlines that we seen out there over the weekend? Let me see if I can find it real quick so I can just read a headline verbatim. News.
Make sure you like, share.
Okay. Reported Biden planned to pay illegal immigrants $450,000 could surpass payments to some 9/11 and military families. That's from Fox
Right.
News. Wall Street Journal says U.S. in talks to pay hundreds of millions to families separated at the border. NBC News, Biden admin may pay millions to migrant families separated at border under Trump. Right? So this is what's going on, family. And
I have a problem with that part, though, really quick, where they said separated under Trump when they were already separated. They were already in those, shelters or whatever you want to call them, camps, prior to him even taking office, right? So they act like he got into office and then those, camps or whatever they want to call it were just created under his administration. And that's just not true. You know what I mean? They were already separated under Obama.
so I didn't even know that.
I did know that, and I remember even during the debates as well. Trump also brought it up then because they were trying to throw jabs at him, about that. He was like, "What are you talking about? Those I kept it going under Obama. You guys started this under your administration, right?" And more facts started to come out during that time, during debates about that, because a lot of people didn't know. And so once he said it, people start doing their research, and then social media starts to blow up even more. So it's like, don't blame me for what you started.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I actually thought that was something that Trump implemented.
Mm-hmm.
So there I go. I got bamboozled by the lamestream media.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, viewer one, I always got a big ass bottle of water, man. That's all I drink is water. She said we ain't going on no bathroom breaks. Nah, I'm here. I'm here with y'all.
Right.
I'm here with y'all. So yeah, Jackson says they giving our money to illegals, people that's not even supposed to be on the soil. They talking about $450K per person.
Per person.
And so most of them, it was a parent and a child, or, a mother and a child, or a father and a child. So you're talking about close to $1 million per family, per household.
Right. Per household. And this again to people that broke federal law to come here. Like, make that make sense. We have had 400 plus years, of everything from slavery, Jim Crow laws, the 94 crime bill, mass incarceration, like so many things that went on with Black people. We have yet to be repaired financially, socially, in any kind of way. Have they even said I'm sorry, which is not enough. You know what I'm saying? That's not enough. But and also your voting base. You got on the world, platforms to thank Black people for getting you in office and how much you owe Black people, and yet we've seen you push statues.
And now, and the thing is, I got so much I want to say about this.
It's crazy, right? It's
insulting. It's coming to the front of my mind at once.
It's
but
insulting.
The thing is, a lot of Black people, a lot of our people, we feel like we're supposed to be so benevolent, and we're supposed to include everyone, and we're not supposed to be exclusive when it comes to our power, when it comes to our resources. We're supposed to include everybody. We got to get off of that, y'all. Because these same people will be the ones over here telling you need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and we made it. Why can't you?
Right.
You know
That's
what I'm saying?
They've been saying. You notice that I seen it on social media not too long ago. They went to some cherry strawberry farms or whatever. These are the people that's picking our food and blah blah blah. It's like, you know what? That's a job that they chose to provide for their families, just like we do work to provide for ours as well. That was your choice to get into that. We were doing it first though for 400 of them.
Now the thing is this, man. We can't really be mad at Biden and Kamala because they told us they was going to do this.
Can I quote? I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm going to do something specifically for Black people. No.
That infamous quote. And I was looking for this. I was looking for this right here. I was looking for this clip from Joe Biden. I had to pull it up on my brother. Shout out to TD Hip Hop. I had to pull it up on his page because they be trying to bury this stuff now, so you can't find it no more.
I'm gonna step away real quick.
All right,
Amazon
good?
just dropped the package off at my door. 1 second.
All right, you good? Let me take you off the screen. All right, let me get this clip together for y'all, family, because Joe Biden, he told us what he was all about. If y'all remember during the debates, hold on, I went way too far. Way too far. If y'all remember during the debates, when he was asked about reparations for foundational Black Americans, this was his response. Hold on. Right here. Can y'all see it on your screen? Let me make sure y'all can see it. Okay, yeah, y'all can see that. So this was his response when they asked him at the debate how he felt about reparations for Black people.
Vice President Biden, do you support reparations?
Look, I mean, since I haven't spoken on this, got a chance. Number one, the reason we're the country we are is because of immigration. We've been able to cherry pick the best from every single continent. The people who come here have determination, resilience. They are ready to stand up and work like the devil. We have 24 out of every 100 children in our school today is Hispanic. The idea that we are going to walk away and not provide every opportunity for them is not only stupid and immoral, but it's bad for America. They are the future of America, and we should invest in them. Everybody will benefit from it, every single American. And you should get used to it. This is a nation of immigrants. That's who we are. That's why we're who we are. That's what makes us different, and we should invest in them.
Thank you, Mr.
Hold on. Let me bring that back. I don't think y'all caught that because the question was about reparations. They asked the man, let me bring it back.
Vice President Biden, do you support reparations?
Look, I mean, since I haven't spoken on this, got a chance. Number one, the reason we're the country we are is because of immigration.
So immediately after they asked him about, well, let me bring my sister back on screen. Immediately after they asked him about reparations, he immediately starts talking about immigrants and Hispanics. Right?
So this shouldn't be so fast forward into what we're seeing now. It's really no surprise then, right?
It's no surprise. He told you what his priorities were.
Yes.
So what was y'all voting for, family?
Right.
What was y'all crying about when he got elected and shit?
Emotional. We did it. Who's we?
What was y'all celebrating? What was y'all so happy about? He said, this is a nation of immigrants. It was built by immigrants, and we ought to get used to it. The Hispanics. Lie after lie after lie after lie.
This
just
erasing
was Black
built
folks.
By our people. This country was built off the backs of our people, and to basically, crap on that. I don't want to cuss, but basically, the people that really built this country. There was no America. There was no country before Black people, Black Americans built it. Drill that in your heads and drill that in any politician's head or supporter of these people that say asinine BS like this, because it is a slap in our ancestors' face, and to me, you're slapping me too. Because one, we know the truth. I think he's in that old school mindset of we can't read, maybe we're dumb. I don't know. He did say something like that too. Remember how he said we didn't know how to use computers or something like that? Yeah, so he does think that Black people are dumb.
Yeah, we don't know how to get in line. We don't know how to get in line. That's CVS.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
I'm gonna re-emphasize what my sister just said, man. I don't want to let that just blow by because there was no United States of America until we built it. The United States of America is less than 300 years old, y'all. It did not exist until it was built by Black folks. And a lot of people...
Everything, infrastructure, I can't even talk because he done pissed me off.
Yeah. Because when people think about slavery, they just think about niggas picking cotton.
Right.
picking tobacco and indigo. And yeah, we did that, but we were also the architects. You know what I'm saying? We laid down the roads, we laid down the railroads, we built all of the buildings. That Washington D.C. was designed by Benjamin Banneker,
Right.
and Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? He designed that shit off the top of his head. So we wasn't just some, niggas just out in the fields picking cotton and shit. Like, we was geniuses. They knew what they had.
They knew exactly what they had, and they used our labor to build what they have today. Right.
Our labor and our genius.
Right.
And we have not been compensated at all. Not one iota.
No.
Again, not an apology, not anything tangible. Nothing whatsoever. They said, okay, y'all niggas is free. Free to do what? Free to just roam out into the wilderness and free for poverty and homelessness.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Free to be susceptible to terrorism without no protection.
Right.
To mass incarceration.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That he wrote. Right. And what about that crime bill and the fact that you jailed all our husbands, our brothers, our uncles, our mothers as well, cousins, our family members? What about them being up in jail for weed? Indeed. Non-violent crimes. Can't get out and get a job because you put a felony on them. You won't expunge it. And if they try to get it expunged, you give them hell and back just to do that. So you have a mindset of people that, almost have given up because no matter what I try to do, you're going to find a law. Because, see, the thing about these white supremacists is they'll create a law just to justify things that they do against us, though. It only targets us. So we got to be very, careful, especially when voting, about on party and not policy. At the end of the day, he showed us and told us who he was. So we have to point right back at ourselves and say, why did we allow ourselves to get sold this trick bag and do the same thing that we've done time and time again? Basically what Dr. Claude Anderson said, we're going to be a permanent underclass, underclass. And with all the information that's out here, not just on social media, but books, all of us know who these people are. It's up to us to study and change it. We cannot continue to do the same thing. And I'm feeling that because I get disappointed in my people too, and it's up to us to discipline each other in the right way, and correct each other in the right way so that we're not making the same mistakes over and over. You have kids. I have kids. We need to be setting them up, so that they're not going through what our mothers, fathers, and grandmothers went through. We're still living their experiences. Why do our children have to come up and live that experience as well? That's not right. And it's up to us to change that. Indeed.
And so that's my point, man. So I'm not mad at Joe Biden for doing what he said he was going to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at us.
Baby.
I'm looking at us and saying, listen, man, it's not like y'all didn't know, especially the Democratic shills, right?
Right.
The Breakfast Clubs, the Charlemagne's, the Joyanne Reeds, the Mike Songs and Tamika Mallory's, and
oh my God,
Benjamin Crumps, and all of these people, right? All these people who have large platforms, all of these preachers that are given to us, by the way.
These are the people that they push out to us, and we look at them. Oh, well, they saying this and that. They're for us. Nah, fam.
Van Jones was out here crying, snot coming out his nose and everything when Joe Biden got elected. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
I'm talking about snot coming out his nose and everything. Oh man, it's easier to tell my kids. It's much easier to tell my kids that, character matters.
Right. Fast forward though. Bezos gave him how much money after that?
Yeah. He got his biscuits. He got him a nice plate of biscuits.
And told him he can do whatever he wants with those biscuits as well.
And what he finna do? What he finna do with that? Because I ain't heard nothing that's going to be beneficial to black people, especially black people exclusively.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 100 million, not 100,000, Jackson. 100 million. $1
million, and said that he can do whatever he wanted to do with that money. Now, who just gives someone 100 million racks? Because you nice.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't that damn nice.
Nobody is.
I know he got it like that, but he ain't that damn nice.
My thing is 100 million racks. He could have paid off student debt for people. I don't know. You know, he could have gave that to, you know, some black families, built some infrastructure, some housing, a whole bunch you could have did versus giving it to this already wealthy, I'm sure, you know, dude and say, do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, we talking about Van Jones. I don't know if I said the wrong name, but that's what we talking about.
You said Van Jones. You said Van.
Okay,
but it's weird to me, you know, and again, we have to stop allowing them to give us our leaders.
Indeed.
You know.
Indeed. And so those are the people I'm looking at funny. Speaking of them giving us our leaders, y'all remember this tongue lashing too, right? We got to keep reminding y'all, we got to keep drilling this in y'all head. We're not going to let y'all forget about none of this shit. We're not going to let y'all forget about none of this shit. Because this was your man talking to the so-called civil rights leaders like they were some damn children out here. And there's a couple of parts from this video that we could play, but this part right here, especially.
We spoke to those concerns. And Vanita, you know what I'm talking about. You and I have talked before. I don't carry around a stamp on my head saying progressive and I'm AOC, but I have more of a record of getting things done in the United States Congress than anybody you know. Anybody you know of getting things accomplished. And that sounds so self-serving. I know that, but this is going to really be hard. This is going to really.
Hold up. Ain't that what Obama out here saying now?
Right now.
They got Obama out here on the campaign trail now.
In Virginia.
Talking about how hard it is to get anything done for black folks.
But it's never hard for any of these other groups. It's not even hard for them to even contemplate giving illegal immigrants $450,000 each, right? But it's every time we start talking about tangible specifically for Black America, well, that's hard. We got to study. We got to do all this crap, right? And what Kamala said, let's be clear. You know, whatever we give to anyone else is going to automatically benefit Black people. So basically, whatever crumbs are left, that's what you niggas gonna get.
Yeah, we don't want trickle down. We don't want trickle down benefits. We are an exceptional people,
right?
And we have an exceptional gripe with this government,
right? And
so you know, we're special. We special, and we need to be treated as such.
And not special in a, slow way.
Not at all.
Like that offends anyone.
Although sometimes y'all act like it.
Right.
Sometimes y'all act like y'all special in that way, but get it together.
Really be hard. And let me conclude and turn it over to Kamala, who says, what the hell am I doing with this guy right now? But all kidding aside, I've known you my whole life, most of you. I've worked with you my whole life, most of you. I've been around doing this for a long, long time. I don't always get it right, but I always take responsibility. When I get it wrong, I acknowledge I got it wrong. But my overarching...
Did you acknowledge that you got the crime bill wrong?
I don't think so, because they didn't change.
Did you acknowledge, did you even say that you was wrong about the crime bill, and did you create any policies to undo the damage that you caused, even though it can't be undone? Right. I mean, families were broken apart, communities were destroyed, so it really can't be undone.
Right.
But did you even make any attempts to right that wrong?
Right.
Because you don't see it as a wrong.
No, because
it's it as a wrong. That's business as usual.
He didn't want his kids going to school with in our jungles or whatever statement that he made. So this is a long time old school white supremacists.
Old school white supremacists. And they was telling us, oh, you got to give them a chance. This ain't that time. Things change. People change. That's what they was telling us.
Yeah.
That's what I was hearing on my timeline. That's the bullshit I was seeing in my comment section.
Trump's rhetoric. Damn his rhetoric. He just talking. Now we're dealing with white supremacies on all fronts. White supremacists. White Hispanic white supremacists, white Asians are basically, what did Hitler say? The honorary Aryans, You know, so they're wannabe white supremacists, right? So, and they get white privileges. So now we're dealing with it from every angle.
And I seen something come out today. I guess there's some Arab female who's running for office somewhere, and she's identifying herself as a person of color. And we know that the Arabs are classified as Caucasian, especially when they come over here to this country.
Yep.
On paper, they are literally classified as Caucasian.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But she's trying to run on this campaign as a person of color, so she's coming under some scrutiny for that. That shit ain't gonna work.
It's not
People
gonna
is too woke.
And stop falling for the okie doke, family. If they're not using the word black, then you already know. You know, and I'm talking about anyone that's claiming to be for black people. You know, if it's a politician talking about they want our vote, then I don't want to hear anything about minority and people of color. If you're talking to me, then speak to me in that language.
Yes, that's a fact. And I don't care if the person who's running is black or not.
Period.
It's about the policies that they plan on pushing that's going to benefit our community. It don't matter if they white, black, Hispanic. It don't matter what they is. They got to be speaking our language and meeting our demands.
That's it. Because guess what? When the Hispanic community or the Asian community go to them, and obviously they didn't do anything public, but they went to them some kind of way, and the Asians was able to get a hate crime bill and $50 million. You know what I'm saying? And now the Hispanic community, they're going to start giving them voting rights. Please believe it's coming. You know, and I'm talking about on an illegal level. On an illegal level. It ain't no gang.
It's not a gang of Asian people that hold office around the country.
No.
But they managed to get stuff done. So we always looking for a black face. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this person is black. We need to support them.
Or a white
You know what I'm saying? We got to cut that out. Let me go back to Biden. Let me go back to Biden's right here real quick.
Objective. If we cannot make significant progress on racial equity, this country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do in terms of raw numbers. We're going to have to.
So he told y'all, family, again, he let it be known who the priority is going to be. Look who he's talking to.
Right. And how he's talking to him.
Hold on. Am I still on the screen?
Yeah.
I don't see y'all.
I see you.
I hear you.
I see you.
I don't know what happened.
Nothing's freezing. Nothing. Like it looks.
Okay, I know what I did. I'm here. I'm still here. I just opened up the wrong page.
That's all right.
What's going on? Some chick named Star. What's going on?
Hey, Star.
I see you over there. But yeah, he said this country is doomed.
Doomed. Not just because of African Americans. Why we name first after the word doom?
After doomed.
After doom.
Because what is he talking about? Again, what we were saying earlier, the dying white minority. They understand that their numbers are dwindling. They understand that their death rates are superseding their birth rates.
Right.
It's called natural decrease, family. Y'all go look up that term, natural decrease. This is coming from their scientists. You know what I'm saying? This is not no Hotep shit. Even though the Hoteps is right 9 times out of 10, but that's another story.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But their numbers are dying off and they understand that. So what are they doing? They're trying to bolster their numbers up by including the Hispanics. Because remember, back in the days, Italians weren't classified as white. The Jews weren't classified as white. The Irish weren't classified as white until it was time when they needed numbers, right? When they needed more numbers, that's when they started to give these people white status and include them in the benefits of white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? As long as they agree not to do anything that would benefit the former slaves of America.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's the thing that he was trying to tell them right there in that meeting with Al Sharpton and the crew. That's what he was trying to tell them.
And no one challenged him, you know. And my thing is, you can it didn't have to be a shouting match, but you can respectfully challenge anyone, especially someone who had you guys out here telling black people to vote for you, and black people who voted for you at what, 96 to 98% of the black vote between both men and women. Right? So you damn right, I got something to say, and you wrong. And I ain't got nothing to do with your, population decreasing. I'm talking about these tangibles, though. For my people, that's what I'm talking about. We delivered, so what you got? That's just the conversation at this point, right? And you got these same Sambos that come out every election cycle to point their fingers at us and wag their fingers at us and tell them what we need to do because we can't get a Republican in office. Damn it, I don't care if it's a Democrat or a Republican. Who's giving me, my people, my group, specifically tangibles, policies that includes finance too, money.
Indeed.
We can't do anything without money. They like to tell us how, we're disproportionately, things are happening because disproportionately black people this and that. But yet you won't give us no policies and no money. You're rolling out damn statues. Well, I can't do anything with that statue. That's not going to feed me and my family. That's not going to protect me and my family against a race soldier that, is using white supremacist tactics to harm me and my family. That's not going to protect me. Right? So we should be a bit disgusted, and pushing back on that too, because who's paying for that? Who's paying for those statues? They're not cheap.
Facts. And now when they talk about these Hispanics, family, and they're talking about prioritizing these Hispanics in particular, because when they're talking about immigration, they're really they're focusing on the Hispanics, right? Yeah. And they're talking about the white Hispanics. Let's not get it confused. This is your Hispanic caucus. This is what the members of the Hispanic caucus look like, family.
Right.
You got one nigga over here with a tan over here in the middle. You see him?
That's just a dark skinned Hispanic.
You know what I mean? He's just somebody that's been hanging out in the sun.
That's all.
You know what I mean? Because they all got them African genes in them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the majority of them are the ones who could pass for white, right? That's who they're talking about prioritizing when they're pushing these policies. You know what I'm saying?
Have any of you guys ever gone onto their social media platforms as well? Because I have. I go onto their Instagrams and, Facebook pages. And one thing that they do not do is when they're talking about policies and getting stuff for their people, I don't see nowhere in there where it's talking about people of color and our black brothers and sisters. None of that. They're holding a line and only coming for what they want and need for their people. Versus when you go on to the Congressional Coon Caucus website, right? NAACP, all our black leaders or whatever, they're more caping for immigration than they are black people.
Facts. Case in point, right here on the site, it says the CHC addresses national and international issues and crafts policies that impact the Hispanic community. Not people of color community, not the minority community, not the marginalized community. None of those trick words.
None of that.
Policies that impact the Hispanic community. The function of the caucus is to serve as a forum for Hispanic members of Congress to coalesce around collective legislative agenda. The caucus is dedicated to voicing and advancing through the legislative process issues affecting Hispanics in the United States, Puerto Rico, and the Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands.
Right.
They're very specific about what they're here for. Very specific about what they're here for. Now, I'm going to go to the Congressional Black Coon Caucus.
Right.
And see what they're talking about. In the meantime, y'all hit that like button, hit the share button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. All of that good stuff. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Come chop it up with us. Congressional Black Caucus.
Now watch the difference. Look at the difference between, the Hispanic Caucus site and then watch ours.
Right. Wait, what is
Our
this?
alleged leaders.
What is this? National to get out the vaccine. Yeah. So soon as you come here, they pushing the goddamn jab.
Right.
I can't. As soon as you come here, they pushing the jab. I ain't see that on the Hispanic site.
Not at all. Nope.
As soon as you come here, I can't even get to the site because they got this big. Can y'all see it right now? Or
yeah, absolutely. Yep.
I can't even get this out the way.
Right. I'm just saying.
God damn.
Look at that.
That's their number one issue. Look, everybody's sitting around with masks on, and they got this big
blue banner
up here. So right. I can't even get to the site to read what their mission statement is for y'all.
Let me see if I can get it.
Let me stop sharing. Yeah, man. We have zero representation in politics, y'all. We have zero representation out here. And I keep losing y'all. I can't find y'all on my screen no more. Okay. I gotta come back over here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we have zero representation. Let me see what y'all talking about in the chat. Let me see. Said we get Juneteenth. Exactly. Nothing but symbolism. Some chick named Star said, I'm highly disgusted. And when I'm saying some chick named Star, that's her screen name, y'all. I'm not saying, oh, some chick named Star. Shout out to Star. That's her screen name. I like that screen name. I can't grow food on Juneteenth. You know what I mean? I sang for the Black Caucus and they paid me well. They can speak up for our money. Let me find out, Jackson. You know I'm always looking for singers. Don't play with me. You're gonna have to be on the next Spear in the Shield. Allegedly. Great point, Sincere. Appreciate it. Yeah, we here, man. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate the engagement. Absolutely. There's a section in Dr. Claude's book that I want to read for y'all too. The Black History Reader by Dr. Claude Anderson. While my sister is looking up that mission statement.
I want to get their mission.
That mission statement by the Congressional Black Caucus. I'm gonna read just a section out of this book for y'all, very relevant to today's topic. Because in the beginning, for those of y'all that tuned in a little bit late, in the beginning of the show, at the top of the show, we played an excerpt from Dr. Claude Anderson from back in the 90s sometime, when he was speaking on this very issue, talking about how we're going to be flooded with Hispanic immigrants and how politically they're going to be prioritized over us, and they're going to be coming over here to receive unearned benefits that we've been getting our ass kicked for all of these years. And we're going to be made into a permanent underclass. So that's what we was playing at the beginning of the show. And so, yeah, this is from the Black History Reader. And question number 5. Did Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s colorblind dream take the focus off of Black rights? Let me spotlight myself real quick.
And I have the mission statement up too, by the way.
All right, cool. Keep that up. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s principle of colorblindness diverted Blacks from prioritizing their own group self-interest and guided them backwards to being altruistic, thinking first for others. His shift from Black to colorblindness reversed the long fight of Black leaders to draw a singular focus to their own group. In that respect, Dr. King's altruism took Blacks back to the way they had to think when they were slaves. When the Civil War and slavery ended in the 1860s, Black ex-slaves had the opportunity for something they had long prayed for, a chance to place their own group self-interest first. For centuries, they were denied the right to have a personal or a Black group self-interest. The sole focus of a slave's life was to care for the master, his interests, and to view the world through his master's eyes only. During slavery, some blacks did fight for the black rights. The strength of their advocacy varied from the extremely aggressive efforts of Nat Turner, Gabriel Prosser, Denmark Vesey, to milder advocates like Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, and Booker T. Washington. After slavery ended, black activists hoped they would be able to direct their energies and resources to benefit their own people. However, that was not to be. The Civil War ended in 1865. Reconstruction lasted about 10 years, ending about 1875. As that period ended, the dominant white society issued laws and public policies that socioeconomically brittled black group self-interest. They were limited in the kinds of businesses and schools they could operate. Black candidates for public office were instructed to speak in generalities. They could not speak out in the interests of blacks or hold whites accountable for past injustices. Around 1915, a pro-blackness period finally did emerge, lasted for a full generation. W.E.B. Du Bois began advocating for black-based politics. Marcus Garvey advocated black economics. Carter G. Woodson emphasized black education. And Elijah Muhammad organized the black Muslims, and black entertainers and artists pushed blackness through the Harlem Renaissance. The increased focus on blackness resulted in the rise of black leaders who in 1928 petitioned the federal government to codify black self-interest by passing a Negro Bill of Rights. Their intent was to recognize and focus public attention to relieving the historical legacies that kept blacks fixed at the lowest rung of society's social hierarchy. In the late 1950s, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a 28-year-old black preacher, burst into the nation's conscience and became the leader of the civil rights movement, which was focused singularly on black issues at the time. As time went on, however, the movement lost focus. Dr. King was the first black leader to convert black problems into a broad category of minority issues, which included gender, ethnicity, language, religion, handicap status, and poverty classes. Thomas E. Woods Jr. in his book 33 Questions About American History pointed out and discussed how Dr. King proposed that the nation institute a Bill of Rights for the disadvantaged, not a Bill of Rights for Black Americans. The term disadvantage became synonymous with minority and equated government-instituted slavery to a contemporary issues such as poverty, gender, and immigration. Instead of framing the focus of his work to long-suffering Black Americans, Dr. King's euphemism of disadvantaged opened the door to a myriad of ambiguous groups that made the case that they too had suffered institutional mistreatment, deprivation, and exploitation. Dr. King's action started Black America down the slippery slope of competition with fabricated minority issues in 1960 when he said, "We're going to take this movement and reach out to the poor people in all directions in this country, into the Southeast after the Native Indians, into the West after the Chicanos, into the Appalachia for poor whites, and into the ghettos after the Negroes and Puerto Ricans. And we are going to bring them together and enlarge this campaign into something bigger than just a civil rights movement for Negroes." When Dr. King folded poverty, class, gender, and ethnicity and language groups into the Black civil rights movement, he effectively destroyed the movement for Blacks. It took away the issues of their exceptionality in society, issues which had never been fully addressed nor remedied. The unique historical experiences of Black Americans became synonymous with minorities, multiculturalism, diversity, people of color, and poor people. These off-course issues confused racial issues with class issues. Dr. King's redirection of the nation's attention to poor people and other oppressed people of the world put Black Americans on the back seat of the bus and voluntarily reversed the course of Black self-interest to the days when they were denied the right to even have group self-interest.
Wow.
And so that's from our brother,
Dr. Claude,
the master teacher, Dr. Claude Anderson, from the Black History Reader. Make sure y'all go get this most important latest book from the master teacher, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, hard truth.
Nothing to dispute because we're living it, right? So he wrote that book, and here we are living it.
Hard truth, man.
Yeah.
Hard truth. And you know, we all love Dr. King. Salute to Dr. King. Respect to Dr. King. But some of the moves were made prematurely. And I think that's why he put emphasis on the fact that this was a 28-year-old man at the time when he boasted onto the scene and became the leader.
Right.
He was just 28 years old. You know what I'm saying? There were people who've been on the front lines way longer than him. Before. And the issue wasn't about integration. The issue was about equity. It was about us having equal resources.
Resources, right?
We didn't want to go to y'all school. We want our school to be just as fly as y'all school.
That's it. We
ain't trying to sit out y'all lunch counters. We don't like y'all food anyway. You know what I'm saying? We don't want no mayonnaise sandwiches. You know what I'm saying? We just want to be able to build businesses in our community and not be sabotaged and not be targeted by KKK groups and all of that stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't about just holding hands and all of the stuff that Dr. King was pushing early on. Our brother did wake up later on.
I was just going to say that he changed that. He's changed it, you know, and once he began to change, you know, his tone and his speeches, of course, they checked him up out of here. He had to go because, you know, now, you know, you're empowering these people. Now the topic has changed, and now, you know, their attitudes and mine are changing. So now we got to get you up out the paint.
Absolutely. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all in the chat, man. Remember, you know, I ain't the master teacher. I'm just the master student. You know what I mean? I appreciate y'all, though. Absolutely.
I'm going to go ahead and read an excerpt from the CBC. And just, he read what was on the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, you know, mission statement. Now, listen to the language in the Congressional Black Caucus mission statement. Mm-hmm. Since its establishment in 1971, so 50 years ago, you guys, the Congressional Black Caucus has been committed to using the full constitutional power, statutory authority, and financial resources of the federal government to ensure that African Americans and other marginalized communities in the United States have the opportunity to achieve the American dream. I'm just going to leave it right there. I don't think I need to go any further than that.
Because they keep on saying it.
You know, you already know what's going on in the rest of it, right? You've already included other marginalized communities.
Once y'all hear those words, that's red flags all day.
Red flags.
Once y'all hear somebody coming around asking for your vote and they start saying marginalized communities, minorities, people of color, go the other way. And a lot of people say, well, what we supposed to do then? Who should we vote for then? Listen.
You ask them what they're going to do specifically for your community, just as other communities do. That's okay. If that's their mission, right, to help other groups and marginalized community, great. But when you're talking to me, talk to me in my community. I'm not here to speak for any other group.
Holding on to your vote is a vote too.
Yes.
Holding on to your vote is a statement as well.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Don't let them mind fuck you into thinking, well, you ain't doing nothing. If you ain't participating, then that's you just sitting on your hands not doing anything. No, you are sending a statement to the system that you are not here for the bullshit. You're not here for the status quo. They can no longer continue to run these games in this benign neglect. And it's past benign neglect at this point with this Biden administration. I mean, they just being straight up disrespectful. You know, but the benign neglect thing was all about just don't mention blacks in particular.
Right.
Use ambiguous language and terms so that they can feel like they're included. Now they just giving you all types of slaps in the face.
Right.
Reparations. What Joe Biden said when you asked him about reparations, he said, "Listen, Hispanics."
Right.
He ain't even attempt to address you and try to run no game. He said Hispanics. Number one priority.
Number one priority, and LGBT.
Facts.
You know, and the thing is, I guess we got to get out and, like you said, get out the mindset of, feeling like we have to lift everyone else up on our shoulders. Well, we're not even in a predicament or financially, socially, politically to lift any other group up. How is it that we're so hell bent on picking up we have more compassion for other groups than we do our own? We're at the bottom, you guys. We have zero power politically, socially, economically, all those things. And I don't care what they start saying. Well, black people spend trillions of dollars on Christmas, and don't listen to all that. Ain't got nothing to do with it. We talking about real power, period. Right? So, they'll try to guilt you, into that. Well, you're spending power. Well, we don't own nothing. So how do we change that? We got to just change the paradigm, right? It's time to start thinking about ownership and teaching our children. If they want to go to school, that's great, but we also have to teach our youth that's coming up that ownership is going to, benefit them more than getting that good job.
Indeed, man. Indeed. Listen, we cannot attain power by watering down our issues.
No.
You know what I'm saying? We cannot, man, I said something, I can't even remember it too. But I was listening to Jason Black and writing a rhyme at the same time. I swear, everything he said, another bar came to mind.
Right.
Everything he said, another bar came to mind. I can't wait for y'all to hear the new project we're working on, by the way.
And my favorite statement from Dr. Claude Anderson, I heard him say this first: quid pro quo. Period.
Quid pro quo. Something
Quid
for
pro
something.
quo. Something for something, right? Voting is an exchange. Don't let them come telling you that, well, your ancestors died for your right to vote and all this stuff. Quid pro quo.
Yes.
Period.
It's a transaction.
It's a transaction. You do something for me, I do something for you. If you coming at me talking about give up my vote and I'm not getting anything, and I gotta, help other marginalized communities before I help my own, slam the door in their face.
Only a slave is expected to do something for nothing.
Yeah.
And now, are you starting to get those phone calls asking you if you're coming out for the midterms?
Oh, I get text messages. I actually have one. I'll probably not for the midterms, but I got one about a month or two ago during the what's his name out here, Newsom, things or whatever. Yeah. So, when they were trying to get him out of here for the other dude, whatever. So I started getting these text messages. So I started replying. So what's his plans for FBA? For Foundational Black Americans? I'm just like, hold on.
Yeah.
Well, I just work here, and you can head over to his website. I was like, nah, he told you to text me, so I'm asking you. So now you go in there and you asking what he gonna do for me. And
I think a lot of us are starting to do that because I got a call from one of them the other day, calling me about my government and all that. I'm like, who is this? Oh, this is so-and-so from Get Out the Vote, such and such. And I'm like, oh, here we go. I wish I had my other phone on deck, you know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to pull up some articles and stuff and go in with her. But I was like, I let her speak. And I heard what she was saying. And I was like, well, she was like, well, do you plan on coming out to cast your vote? I said, absolutely not. And she said, well, do you care something about healthcare? She brought up some healthcare issues or whatever. And I said, no, I don't care about that. And she said, well, what about something about consideration for reparations? I said, well, I don't want to talk about no consideration for reparations. Cut the check.
That's it.
Cut the check.
That's all.
I said, we don't got to do no studies. We ain't got to get no groups together. And by the way that her tone was, I could tell she's getting this response from a lot of people that they got.
Oh, yeah.
He already knew what it was. She was like, okay, he one of those.
I'm about to send you the exchange between me and this one.
Read it.
Okay.
Read it for the family.
So mine came in the form of a text message. And so she's like, hi, Shamika, hi, Shamika, it's Jay with Gavin Newsom. Stop the Republican recall of Governor Newsom's campaign committee. Ballots are already starting to arrive in the mail for the September 14th election. We need to vote no and beat this recall on the first question, or we risk a Republican challenger immediately becoming governor, even if they can only win with a fraction of the vote. Can we count on you to support Governor Newsom by voting no on question 1? So I respond, what's Newsom doing for Black America? I see a lot of resources set aside going to illegals and immigrants. Black America has only received the promise of a study for reparations. Our communities and business have and continue to suffer, yet he wants our vote. What are we getting in return for our votes? We need tangible economic resources. I understand your concern, but I'm just a volunteer and not directly connected to the governor's office.
They gotta get their talking points together.
Yeah, they gotta get their talking points together. So so with us replying the way that we are, all now they understand, and I'm sure this is part of it, right? So when they're hit with these questions, now they're gonna have a little training class for them. Well, say this,
think tank.
when they ask X, Y, and Z. So I want to know where the tangibles at.
Yeah. And the thing about our talking points is it ain't nowhere for them to hide. It ain't nowhere for them to talk slick and get in between. We getting right down to the business.
Right.
We getting right down to the business. What's going to be done for us specifically?
Period. Point blank. Like, stop playing with me. Stop talking about marginalized communities, etc. You know, not that I don't feel bad maybe for those people, but again, my loyalty, my alliances is with my people, because we are the ones that suffers more than any group. These people come over here, they're able to come over here and start businesses without being sabotaged. There's a fruit stand, there's a food truck on every corner. I have a friend, and I'll reach out to him too, probably to get him on. Not a friend, but I don't know him personally, but I've been supporting his business for a long time. When he was selling food in front of his house, it's called All Flavor No Grease, right? He started off with a little grill thing in front of his house, had a big old tent with the name of his business on there, until he was able to save enough money to get food trucks. Now he has about 4, and he goes out, the LA County, Riverside areas or whatever, to sell his food. So it worked out. Now, when I would go over there to get food during lunch hour, it would be the police department, fire department. You had the, postal workers and regular community people supporting his business. I seen it. All of a sudden, he started to get fined, and they told him that he couldn't, sell food anymore in front of his house and all this stuff. Like, literally shut him down. But there's a little taco stand, on the same corner. They don't have a permit or anything. Now, fast forward, when that happened to him, LA County stopped requiring street vendors to have permits to sell food, but y'all shut him down.
Yeah,
Young Black man, not doing anything illegal. He's in front of his own house in his yard, and they shut him down. They started giving him tickets.
That's like my man down here, my man Kev. RP to my man Kev, man. My man Kev went through the same situation. He used to pull up in front of the barbershop and at different gas stations with the grill hitched to the back of his truck, doing his thing until he was able to save enough money to get a place. And he used to tell me about all of the nightmares and all of the hoops that he had to go through with the city, with the inspectors and all of this stuff to get his place open. Meanwhile, a couple of doors down from where we at, Chinese place, one of the young kids caught one of the dudes outside in the back on the ground chopping up the meat. I mean, the meat, just raw meat outside on the ground, garbage, cigarette butts all around. He outside on the ground chopping up the meat. So the kid took his picture, put it on, I think, Snapchat or one of them shits. That shit ended up going viral. It got the attention of the news and all of that. Channel 2 News came out there, all this stuff. And the couple of days after that, the health inspectors came and gave them an A. They didn't get shut down at all. They got an A. And then what they did was, they closed themselves down and they rebranded the place.
Right.
They had different family members come in. They changed the name of it and they reopened it back up under a different name, and they had different people working in the front, but it's the same people. Go ahead. I see you got something to handle over there.
Yeah, my son is getting on my nerves. I gotta open the door for him. Hold on.
Go ahead, handle your business. But yeah, that's how they do us, family. And I know out there, in LA, you know, she was talking about with the governor out there, Gavin Newsom, I think is his name. You know, when she's talking about, when she was reading the text message, asking them what they're gonna do, what is he gonna do for black people? You know, you'll get people out there on your side of things that'll say, well, I know he just gave Bruce's Beach, the family, back that property they took from them out there in Bruce's Beach. And that's all fine and dandy. That's all fine and dandy, but that's not doing something for black people.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
That's one family.
Yeah, that's one family, and that's great for them. I'm happy for that family. You know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully that family is on code and smart enough to make that area something that will be beneficial for the community. You know what I'm saying?
You saw the grandson. You saw the grandson's wife.
No. What he got? A snow bunny? What, he got a snow bunny?
He got a bunny. Yeah.
He
don't even sound like one of us.
I would say that's all right, but unfortunately, most times that ain't all right.
Yeah, the way he look and sound, I was like, oh, no, you know, I mean, hopefully, you know, yeah.
And that's the wife, and so they got married when he ain't have nothing, so you know, there ain't no prenups involved. No. So you know, who knows how that might go? But I'm just saying, you know, I'm happy that they got their property back. They deserve it. It's theirs. It's theirs. You know what I'm saying? So you corrected a wrong for that family. I'm not giving you no props and respect for doing the right thing. You
because again, black people as a group need economic, you know, tangibles, and there's a lot of Bruce's beaches out here, right?
Yes.
You know, so that's just one. We have many more to go, you know, and then also to, you know, repair Black America as a whole.
Indeed. And I see they had a fake reparations proposal out there not too long ago too. But man, if they're not talking about direct payments to foundational Black Americans and land allotments and
tax exemptions
and things of that nature, they ain't talking about reparations, y'all.
They ain't talking about. The main thing is that check. We need that check.
Absolutely. If y'all can cut these checks for these illegals, you know what I'm saying? If y'all found trillions of dollars for this pandemic overnight, y'all was cutting. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, $6 billion for the Afghans. Y'all pulled out $6 billion out your ass for the Afghans. We've been taking care of them for 20-25 years already. Like, and y'all want $6 billion more?
So who we got so far? We got the Afghans, we got the Asians, now we got the Hispanics. We got the LGBT community, the white LGBT community.
Right. Everybody
the white LGBT community. Because the black ones, they don't get nothing out of that.
Yeah, they don't get none of that.
Ain't no institutions, ain't no communities like what they got out in San Francisco and all of that. That's exclusively for Black LGBT folks, where they run the show and all that. They own and control the politics in their area. It's none of that. Like what they have in these white LGBT enclaves. You know what I'm saying? There's no Black LGBT people who are controlling the media, who running these movie companies and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? These people have wealth, power, and influence in the white LGBT community. So we're not even differentiating that. We still talking about the same old white supremacy. They just have a different lifestyle choice.
And our Black brothers and gay brothers and sisters, or trans brothers and sisters, whatever you call, you know, you identify as, you're Black before you're trans, you're Black before you're gay or lesbian, you're Black first. That's it. And that's all we've basically been saying, you know, and that, you know, BS narrative that, you know, Black people or Black men specifically are homophobic. No, we're just Black first. And, you know, and of course, if you're being deterred away from being Black first, you're going to get correction. or if you're, you know, pushing, you know, agendas on children or lifestyles on me as a Black woman. I don't want a, you know, lesbian woman pushing up on me, because that's not how I roll. I don't disrespect you. I don't dislike you. We can be cool, but don't push up on me. You know, respect my boundaries, you know, and my decisions, and likewise with the men. You know, I think I said this before on one of our prior shows. My brother drives for Uber once in a while, and one of the areas that he frequents, because there's a lot of clubs up there, it's a gay area, and one pushed up on him, and my brother was like, you know, checked him. It was like, all these guys out here that like that, why do you push up on men that you know are straight? He said, because it's no fun dealing with ones that are, you know, already gay. It's fun dealing with the ones that are not, like basically buck breaking them. You know, so we have to also, not to say all of them are like that, but we have to also address the elephant in the room. And respect comes from both sides of it. And you're Black first, because LGBT community experiences racism too. Just like with this Dave Chappelle, he basically just pulled the blanket off. Let's be clear. He pulled the blanket off. You have Frida, Big Frida, supporting Dave Chappelle, right? And agreeing with what he said. Big Frida is a big name in the LGBT community or trans community. And for her,
a big mascot.
Yeah, for him to come out and say, no, he's not wrong. You know, there is an issue, you know, with anti-Black racism within this community.
Facts. Going all the way back. Going all the way back to the plantations.
Yes.
You know, one of the most prominent LGBT members that we ain't gonna let y'all forget about is J. Edgar Hoover.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who was sabotaging every Black movement that was coming up during the Civil Rights era and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Actively, you know, surveilling Black leaders and Black organizations and all of that stuff in order to dismantle and thwart our progress. You know what I'm saying? Out of his own words, fear of a Black Messiah.
Right. The uprise of one. Right.
You know, fear of the uprise. We have to, by all means, stop the rise of a Black Messiah. That's coming from one of the most prominent LGBT members, right. J. Edgar Hoover. So yeah, we already know that it's the same old white supremacy. You know what I mean? So again, make sure y'all support the show, family. You know what I mean? Y'all see the Cashapp right there on the screen. You know what I mean? If you're getting some good value out of the show,
I hope
make sure you hit us up. Make sure you hit us up. And let me see what we got coming up. What we got coming up this week?
This week is just Thursday. Our Black Business Showcase. We will be having I2 Image Official. Let me make sure I say it right.
121. Yeah, 121 images.
Yeah, 121 images. We will be having that brother on the show. And, you know, of course, discussing his Black business. And then following that week, we have, I believe, a double hitter. Next week, we will have another double hitter for you guys, Wednesday and Thursday. I think after this, every Wednesday and Thursday this month, we'll have a double hitter with the Black Business Showcase.
With the exception of Thanksgiving, right? Because
with the exception of Thanksgiving, yep.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
Actually, no, no. This one before Thanksgiving now. I think I sent you the new calendars this weekend.
So we have one Thanksgiving Day or that Wednesday?
We have one still booked Thanksgiving Day because he hasn't said he couldn't do it, but on that day, and now we have one the day before as well.
Okay, well, I'm cool with
that. Yeah.
I'm cool with that. We got some great shows lined up for y'all, man. We're gonna be talking, you know, Black business like we always do around that time of the week. You know what I'm saying? Usually on Thursdays, but we got our Wednesday shows because we had so many people wanting to come on. We've been blessed to have a lot of people agreeing to come on the show, and we didn't want to have people waiting all the way until January, February of next year.
Right.
Maybe lose interest, or you never know what could happen along that time. And so we want to be able to start pumping out as much content as possible while we're building and growing our audience as well too. So we're going to include some of those special edition Wednesdays for y'all to get people on and tell us their story and talk about, what it takes to build and maintain a Black business out here.
Right.
Because I seen in the beginning of the show when Dr. Claude Anderson, what he was saying, he was like, listen, if you're trying to start a business, just give me the money because y'all don't got no community to sustain your business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now we did make some progress, I believe, in that area on, you know what I'm saying, on a conscious level. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're getting more and more on code and understand the importance of us supporting each other when it comes to business. But at that time, when he was talking to Black people in the late 90s, you know, people thought this was some type of utopia and racism was some shit from back in the days. Like, you ain't hear people talking how they talking now. Like, you ain't hear people saying white supremacy and all of that stuff, how you hear it now on a regular basis.
Right.
Even from the coons are forced to use our language and shit now.
Right.
It has to be acknowledged because, you know, it's no denying it at this point. But at that time, the audience that he was speaking to, he was speaking a foreign language. You know what I'm saying? So he was,
but he was still on the neck, though. His foot was still on the neck, but he was still speaking a foreign language for sure.
Yeah, man. Because notice, most of us heard about Dr. Claude Anderson in the last decade or so. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know who Dr. Claude Anderson. We knew who Al Sharpton was when we was kids.
Man, right?
You know what I'm saying? You knew
because
who
they
Jesse
give
Jackson
us
was.
our leaders. That's the thing. We gotta stop letting them give us our leaders. They gave Al Sharpton to us. We didn't ask for him.
Let me see what y'all talking about. Just as long as people try to force their lifestyle, just as long as people don't try to force their lifestyle on me. Yes,
right.
Indeed.
And that's what it's always been about because, again, we are the most loving, you know, nourishing people, accepting. We accept and love everybody. Let's be clear, right? But you can't force, you know, certain lifestyles and things that people don't want. And I think that that should be okay. We're allowed to have differences, right? That's what makes us unique, you know. And what's wrong with sharing our differences, you know? But we mutually respect one another. That has nothing to do with being homophobic or transphobic. We don't call them heterophobic. Is that even a term?
Indeed. What is that?
Right.
What is that? Relevant, heavy topics. Appreciate it. Yeah, indeed, man. Indeed. Thank you to our administrators, man. Y'all have been great this evening, as always. You know, keeping us engaged, keeping us on point, reminding us to tell everybody to like and share,
right.
all of that good stuff. We definitely appreciate y'all taking the time to be here with us. If you can join us, not this Wednesday, but this Thursday. This Thursday, like I said, we got our brother D. He's a graphic designer, video director, and an editor, and all of that stuff. And we're going to be chopping it up with him about his business this Thursday. So y'all make sure y'all tune in for that. Also, another thing that we've been forgetting on Sundays is at the end of the show, we're supposed to shout out a Black business. You know what I mean? I think the last 2 Sundays we have been forgetting about that. So the Black business that I want to shout out today is a restaurant that I most frequent around here called Mac and Jack's.
Mac and Jack's out here in Lawrenceville, Georgia, on Grayson Highway. Let me look up the address. For y'all, just for the people that's in the area, so y'all can go check them out. The food is banging, man. It's a barbecue spot. 725 Grayson Highway, Lawrenceville, Georgia. The place is called Mac and Jack's barbecue spot. I'm there damn near 3-4 times a week. Is that good?
Getting my lunch. I mean, it is. The food is really good, but also the food in this area is trash overall. It's not.
Okay.
It's not a real variety of places to go to. Not from what I'm used to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In New York, you know, it's great food spots everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Different flavors. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got Spanish food. You got, you know what I'm saying? Even the Italians and all of that stuff. The Jamaicans. You know what I'm saying? It's a variety of places to go. But down here, it's very limited, man. Just in the area where I'm at. In Atlanta, they got a lot of good restaurants all around Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Dope Black-owned spots all around Atlanta. But out here where I'm at, not so much. So I rock with them, man. I think they out of Philly originally. I believe their family is out of Philly originally. But it's a family-owned business, Black-owned business. Dope restaurant, like the whole setup, the decorations and all of that stuff, the way they got it. Great people, nice people. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in the area, if you're in the Gwinnett County area, make sure y'all go check them out. Mac and Jack's.
Mac and Jack's.
They don't have vegan options, Sharon, unfortunately. They be having turkey options and chicken options for certain things, you know what I'm saying? But they don't have too many vegan options unless you're just gonna get sides. It is a barbecue spot. So you know they making brisket and all that stuff. I don't eat no red meat myself, but I go there, I get my smoked turkey, I get them chicken sausages sometimes, or I get some fish, you know what I mean? Shit like that. That's what I do.
All right. Well, when I visit down to the Georgia area, I'm gonna make sure I check them out. You
got any business you want to give a shout out to?
Actually, the one I was actually talking about, which I am going to try to get him on, by the way, because he has just an amazing story. But it's called All Flavor, No Grease. All Flavor, No Grease. You guys can check him out. He's on Instagram, and basically what he does is his spin on Mexican food.
Oh,
yeah.
They got a spot in Atlanta like that too. It's a brother named Big Mike Tacos. I gotta check him out.
Yeah, he does quesadillas, tacos, burritos. He makes this bomb like green sauce. He will not give me the secret to it. It's bomb, and he gives you so much food. It's like, he has shrimp options as well. Bomb. And what you see on screen or on Instagram, that's exactly how it looks when you get it. You know how they can manipulate the pictures and stuff like that. No. It looks just as beautiful and tastes even better when you eat it. All Flavor, No Grease, Black owned, young brother doing this.
Hold on a second, Sharon. Are you the sister that I met earlier today at the vitamin shop at Juices Wild? I think that's the sister that I met earlier today. I believe that's who that is. If that's you, shout out to you, man. I appreciate you checking out the show tonight, man. Make sure you check us out on Thursday, where we do the Black Business Showcase. You know what I mean? And we definitely going to have you on. She's the one, I sent you her page. She does the same thing that you do.
Yeah.
Same thing that you do with the butters and all of that stuff.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. So yeah, she was a lovely sister that I met earlier today. Yeah, that's her. Okay, yeah. I appreciate you, sis. Appreciate you. Shout out to you. So yeah, man. Thank you, family. Thank you for tuning in with us. Again, we're going to be back here on Thursday and then again on Sunday. You know what I mean? Keep rocking with us, man. Make sure you share this on your social media platforms. You know what I mean? Help us as we continue to grow. And I think that's all we got for today. I think we pretty much covered it all.
Yeah, we did
pretty much covered it all.
Thanks for joining us again. Y'all rock. Y'all the rock stars too for, helping us build, this platform up, engaging the way that you do. Thank you to those that are sending the cash apps. Again, we appreciate all the support, the shares, the likes, the cash apps, the engagement. We appreciate you guys.
Indeed. So once again, family, make sure y'all get the book from Dr. Claude Anderson.
Yes.
The Black History Reader. Every Black home should have one. You know what I'm saying? It will give you a thorough understanding of what we're dealing with right now in this political climate and how we go about getting on code with each other in order to build a better world for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? In the meantime, make sure you're following my sister nyctegur at nyctegur1 on Instagram, nyctegur, NYCTEEGURL and the number 1 on Instagram, and just take the 1 off for all the rest of the platforms.
Yeah.
And you can find her on Twitter and all of that good stuff as well without the 1. And I'm at Sincereluvdagod on all social media platforms. Please follow me as well so you can keep up with all the things I got going on too. Yeah, man. Follow my page on Instagram. Click the link in my bio, man. I got merch over there. I got music over there. Support the God. Support the God. We trying to build over here, man. You know what I'm saying? And so that brings us to the conclusion of the show. And so remember, family, we are not the master teachers. We are only the master students. Let me put this up here real quick as I'm saying this. Remember, family, we are not the master teachers. We are only the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media.
And make sure you guys tune in next week for another great episode of the Sincere Love the Godcast, as well as our Sincere Love the Godcast Black Business Showcase, which right now is going to be on Wednesdays and Thursdays till further notice. And again, as we take you guys black to the future.
Peace.
Good night, y'all. Thanks for